What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Master Apprentice video and podcast. Today we've got a new review for you guys, and it's the newest Star Wars game, Star Wars Hunters. This is a game that was developed by Zynga, and it was just released this month in the month of June 2024. This game has been in beta and open testing for quite some time now, since 2021 pretty much. So this is a game that we've been expecting and waiting for quite some time, but it is finally here, and we are here to give you guys our full review of this new game that's launched. Some things to keep in mind with that, though, is this game is a live service game as of now. So, in a year or two from now, this game can be drastically different, whether it be played on different consoles and just different devices from now, whether the game just looks different in the way it's played, whether the meta is completely different. It could be just a different game in general. But with everything we have from now, the review is going to be of the dropped game in 2024. So with all those things being said, we're going to give you the good, the bad, and the overall review at the end. So with that, the good things, I do like the creativity part of this. Star Wars has always kind of been loved for many different reasons, but I think the main reason is the creativity of Star Wars and the vast universe that it lies in just leaves a lot to be interpreted and a lot to be imagined. And that's part of the fun that George Lucas created when he created Star Wars. And I just like this game kind of dives into it and some characters and people that we know and just kind of twist them and change them a little bit, whether it be a stormtrooper, a Wookiee, a Sith, or a Jedi, or a Trandoshan, or a Droideka. It just kind of changes them and uses them in different ways that are creative. And I think it's fun and unique, and I like it. And that's what video games are all about, giving the player interaction that's unique and fun and creative for the player. And I like that this game kind of twists into that with a Star Wars spin, and this game does it well. Some other things, I love the pacing of this game. This game is meant for mobile and Switch users, and they know that. So they do a good job of captivating you, but not holding you too long that doesn't feel like it shouldn't be on these marketplaces. And it does a good job of that. And I feel like the pacing was well done, and the captivation of the game in itself was on point for sure. Other things is this Overwatch style of game that this is works well with Star Wars, right? I think Overwatch is a fun game. The style of the gaming where you pick a character, you go into a multiplayer game, and the character that you selected has these different unique abilities and upgrades. And then Star Wars does that and with their own spin, with like Jedis and Sith and their lightsabers and Force and stormtroopers and shields and all kinds of different things. It does a good job of putting its own spin on what Overwatch is. Overwatch is one of the most popular games in the gaming industry to this day, even.
To this day! To this day!
And Star Wars did a good job of using that market and putting its own twist on it. And I think they did a good job on that. Before I go into the bad, just a little bit more of the breakdown of the game. Like I explained, it's a little bit like an Overwatch style game, multiplayer. So you play 4-on-4. That's always the size of the lobby, and each game before you go in, you select a certain character, an established character, and as you go into the game, that character that you selected has set abilities and upgrades. And now you can kind of, if you keep using a certain character, you can keep upgrading them in their abilities, and the way you play with them depends on you, but they're kind of set in their own path as they are with their health and their damage and all of that. It's already set. And there is a battle pass. Like I said, it's a live service game, so it's kind of getting updates all the time. There's a season to it. I think the season right now is supposed to last about 2 months. So it's supposed to be kind of like a spin of Overwatch and Fortnite in a way, with that battle pass system and the seasons and all of that. At least that's what it seems like as of now. And it's trying to lean heavy into those cosmetics, it seems like. It's not really a pay-to-play game like some of the other Star Wars mobile games we've seen in the past. This pretty much is open for free players, except with the cosmetics and aesthetics, you kind of have to buy those if you want, which is very optional. With all of that being said, some of the bad things about this game, I don't know if it should be on mobile. It's a shooter game, and my personal opinion, maybe a lot of you don't share this, but I know for me and others, mobile games are just difficult on mobiles, right? It's supposed to be you're going around shooting, but you need to see all around you to kind of see if there's an opponent or a bad guy around the corner. But if you're blocking your screen with your fingers trying to move and look, it kind of takes away some of your peripheral. And I know for console and PC. I play on both. It's good to have that screen and your hands are just off. You don't even see them. You don't have to worry about them. You can just trust them and you can see everything else. And the mobile takes away part of that. And I really don't enjoy that, whether it be from Call of Duty Mobile or other shooting mobile games. It just is kind of hard for me to get into it without getting too frustrated. It's also on Switch, and I think it works fine on Switch. There's no problem with that. The problem is it's only on Switch and mobile games, no PC and no console, Xbox, or PlayStation. Technically, you can get an emulator and play it on your computer, but it's not what it's intended for. So I think that's a big factor for me personally. One other big negative about this game is while it's very creative with the characters and environment that it has in the game, it doesn't really have a lot of like pre-established characters from the Star Wars universe. Things like Darth Vader, Boba Fett, Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, things like that. It doesn't really have much of in the game. It's kind of got some twists and turns of it, but nothing really in the game. Now, this game does take place in an established time in the canon universe of Star Wars, right after Return of the Jedi, before The Force Awakens, which is unfortunate because if you're familiar with that time in Star Wars, there's not a whole lot going on, really. Besides like the Mandalorian stuff, there's not much else, right? Darth Vader's dead. Luke Skywalker's doing his own thing. Rey, Kylo Ren, they're not part of the picture at all. So there's not a lot of characters for them to pull off from that time anyways, which is kind of unfortunate. And I think that could be a big factor, especially from the marketing and promotional side. It's kind of hard to sell a Star Wars game without putting too many of the Star Wars established characters on the face of the game. You kind of have to put your own twist and turn on it, which is just, again, kind of hard for the marketing and promotional side. I don't think this is bad from the player point of view. I think it doesn't really take away too much. But I know it's going to be hard to get a lot of new players in if they're not familiar with what they're looking at. And that's going to be interesting to see how that affects the game and its survivability going forward. It's live service, but again, this game's kind of dependent on the income it makes, as is any other game, right? So it's very important this game does well in the first couple months. Otherwise, this game's going to get shut down and it's going to be stuck where it's at, and the live service is gone. So overall, it's a fun game. I enjoy it. I like the multiplayer aspect. It's easy to play with your friends, right? That's another fun thing about it. But it's kind of hard to play on your phone. Unless you got a computer emulator or a Switch, it's really hard to play a shooter game like this and not get frustrated without being able to see your screen because you're blocking it with your hands and your fingers. So with all of that being said, I'm going to give this game a 6 out of 10. It's a fun game. I think if you got a Switch or you have access to get a computer emulator, I would recommend it. It's fun. It's a quick little game. The games last just a couple minutes long. You can just buzz through it. There's a whole ranking system. There's a battle pass system. It's very free to play, accessible, and I like that and enjoy that. But again, mobile and Switch only, it's kind of a difficult thing to sell to the audience. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you guys have played it, if you guys enjoyed it, what you guys think of our review. And yeah, with that, if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. If you guys enjoyed the podcast, don't forget to hit that follow and download. Let us know what you guys want us to review next for Star Wars, and we will see you guys later.